and welcome to another Lightest and Best video from the House of Wisdom. As you know, I started my journey doing knife videos and gear videos and hiking videos and all the things that I do by looking at the lightest and best products from each division. And today we're going to have one of those. After doing a little shy of 200 videos, I've pretty much burned through all the major manufacturers and looked at their lightest offering, something that's a good EDC size and light to carry. So one of the things I did was I looked at all the different makers that make switchblades to see the lightest and best switchblade, and this is what I've come up with. First of all, let me talk about terms. What I'm calling a switchblade is an out-the-side automatic, and there are different types of automatic knives. For example, Protech makes a lovely out-the-front automatic, and is probably my favorite out-the-front automatic, but that's not the sector I'm going to talk about today. What I'm going to call a switchblade, and people may have different ideas what a switchblade is an out-the-side automatic so that you know what I'm talking about. This knife is the Protech Brend 2. Protech manufactures the Brend 2 in Artesia, California. Walter Brend is the designer. He's a knife maker from Ottawa, Tennessee, who has been making knives for over 30 years at the making of this video. I'll put a picture of him and his lovely family up here on the computer. The Brend 2 is a compact version of the original Brend, which had a 4.6-inch blade. The Brend 2 is 33% smaller with a 2.9-inch blade. Before I get into talking about the Brend 2, though, I want to tell you how painful it was and how many great out-the-side automatics there are. Some of my favorites in the runner-up categories include, firstly, the Protech Newport automatic. It sports a 3-inch blade and is a little heavier at 2.2 ounces, but is still a fine knife. It is a little longer and has a longer handle. For those of you with larger hands, you might like this one. Another one is the Protech PT automatic. It has a 2.75-inch blade and is 2.6 ounces. Here is my Strider PT. The Protech PT, of course, is a collaboration between Protech and Strider. This is just the perfect size knife. It feels great in the hand. It's a joy to use, and if it were a little bit lighter in the automatic version, it probably would have been my winner. The other knife that I want to talk about in the runner-up categories is the Protech Whiskers 3.1. It has a 3.1-inch blade. It is 4 ounces, so it's not light at all, but I think it's very clever. Instead of having a button to actuate the knife, you actuate the bolster by sliding it forward or sliding it to the side to actuate the knife. It's a very clever design, and I was smitten by it. So those are some of my favorite runners-up. Let's talk about the specifications of the Brend 2, however. The blade length is 2.9 inches. The handle is 3.7 inches, giving a total knife length of 6.6 inches. The weight of the knife is 1.9 inches. We'll do some size comparison. First of all, we'll have the PT Strider, which is approximately the same size. The Protech UTX 80, which is a bit larger. The Benchmade Mini Griptilian, which is just a little bit larger. And lastly, the Spyderco Dragonfly, which is smaller. The blade of the Brend 2 is made from 154 cm. It's in a drop point configuration with a large swedge. We could almost call this a spear point blade. There's no jimping on the spine, and it's ground with a mild hollow ground on the primary bevel. The method of deployment is, of course, by button. It deploys fast and hard. One of the interesting things to note about the button, this knife doesn't have a safety, and it doesn't need it because they machined a recess to place the button in. So it's harder to accidentally actuate this knife. You have to actually put your finger over that recess and push it to actuate it. If you just accidentally do that, it won't actuate the knife. It's a nice design, and I really am glad that they didn't put a lock on it. I think it would have been unnecessary. The handle of the knife is made from T6 aluminum, and it has a cocobolo inlay, but there are many types of inlays that this knife is made in. I've seen maple burl, I've seen micarta, I've seen G10, I've seen carbon fiber. There are dozens of different types of inlays that they've made this knife in. The current knife that's up for sale in one of the retailers I saw doesn't even have an inlay. It's just got a anodized aluminum handle. The construction of the knife, it has two aluminum scales that are held together by body screws in the pivot, and there's not a back spacer, so to speak. The handle scales just come together. They left a clearing in the central area so that you can blow any lint or dirt out. So nice idea with a handle. The knife's pivot runs on washers, and whenever you have a spring-loaded automatic like this, nothing other than washers is really necessary. The lock is a plunge lock, and it is the same lock that actuates the knife. It locks open, and you press the plunge lock, and then it allows it to close like that. So it locks in the open position automatically. The ergonomics on the knife are fine. I can get a good 4-finger grip on this knife. It's just large enough to fit my fingers. The pocket clip of the knife is a bent clip that is surface mounted, held by 3 screws. It has good retention, and it's under the smooth cocobolo wood, so it won't be tearing up your pocket. The action is great on this knife. It fires out fast, it fires out firm, there's no problem there. We'll talk about the signage. On the show side, it has the Protech maker's mark, and then the Brend maker's mark, which is a Confederate flag, the stars and bars with the word Brend on it. Brend is from Tennessee, so he's a Confederate aficionado. And then on the clip side, it has the model number PR6298. Where to find it? This knife can be pre-ordered in a green aluminum handle on Knife Center for $140, which I consider a good value for such a fine knife. So what do I think about the Protech Brend 2 out-the-side automatic knife? I really like it. It's small, it's light, it's easily pocketed, it's the perfect EDC size, and it only weighs 1.9 ounces. When you get in that sub 2 ounce category, it's an elite category, and this is a lot of knife for 1.9 ounces. It fires out fast and fires out quick. It's simple and beautiful. I love the cocobolo wood inserts, but they have a variety of inserts that you can choose to fit your particular tastes. Well, in summary, the Protech Brend 2 is a light, well-made, out-the-side automatic, a switchblade. I think it's the lightest and best in the category, but that's just one man's opinion. Let me know in the comments section what your favorite switchblade knife is, and we'll see you on the next Lightest and Best House of Wisdom knife review video.